A middle school girl starts to reach her typical teenage milestones. Boys, fighting with your mom, pop stars, and turning into one gigantic, magical red panda.
Welcome to the Walt Vault with Andre,
Michelle,
Emily,
And Luis.
We are a family-friendly podcast where each and every week we watch and review a different Disney movie. Be sure to subscribe on all podcast platforms and YouTube. Enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to the Walt Vault, episode 170.
you want about
me.
Just trying to switch it up for you guys. Oh, scales. me, mo.
meep.
Lou, you wanna?
Meep.
Thank you for meeping with us. We are back once again.
We'll take a moment of silence for you to meep in your...
Yep, go ahead.
Meep.
Meep in your car. Meep at work. Meep at the gym. Thank you. Okay.
That's where people listen to us. I guess. Yeah. This is pretty accurate.
I assume that's why I listen to podcasts.
Meep while you're cleaning
Not
your
at
house.
the gym. I don't go to the gym. That's crazy. This week.
Wow, that was really loud. I'm so sorry.
This week, we are talking about the brand new Pixar animated film, Turning Red.
Did it only come out on Disney Plus?
It was only released on Disney Plus.
That's what they're doing with the Pixar
just
movies now.
as the last the last three.
You think they'll ever put them
Pixar
back in the
movies.
theater?
I-
Pixar
well,
movies?
actually, Lightyear is set to be a theatrical release.
That makes sense to me, though.
You not excited for Lightyear, Lou? You're making a nasty snarl.
I mean, that one will attract more audiences.
Yeah.
I think this one, in theory, wouldn't attract as many.
Sure.
Who knows?
We will never know.
We won't
will
know
not
unless they
release these numbers to
accidentally,
us.
unless they like actually put them back in the theater.
They accidentally.
So
oops. Get out of there.
before we get started on the Turning Red, Louis asked a question. I don't know.
All right. If you had to choose, what bed buddy would you choose?
Excuse me?
Bed buddy?
Capey
Oh.
or flying carpet? Because they're
Wait, what?
they're basically blankets.
Who's
That's what I
Capey?
meant. I guess I
Who's
should have led
Capey?
with blanket buddy.
Who's Capey?
Doctor Strange's
Doctor
cape?
Strange's Cape.
Oh,
Okay, I need to know one more time. Did
Okay,
you say
let-
bed buddies?
I should have led. Yeah, I
Blanket
probably should have
sidekick.
said Blanky buddy instead of bed buddy.
I
don't
was
know.
like, what?
Bed buddy. No. We're good. This is good. I think between these blanket bed buddies, I would go with Doctor Strange's cape because I can wear it. I mean, that's just cool, you know. Now there was an episode of the Aladdin Cartoon on Disney Channel where he had to like put carpet in like a suit that he was wearing, so it like wrapped around his back, and then he was wearing the suit, so when he flew, it just looked like Aladdin was flying. And I
He was like a flying squirrel.
This is pretty rad. I like this idea. We should do this more often, Aladdin.
So I have a question though. Doctor Strange flies with his cape.
Yeah.
And
It's the cloak of
carpet
levitation.
flies with the carpet. So
But does he really fly like Superman fly, or is it more like
he
vertical?
levitates.
He levitates.
He levitates, but he can fly. Like I think you see in I think even in the first Doctor Strange movie, like as he's fighting through the city, he's kind of just like floating through and rushing towards the
I
bad
was
guys and
thinking
whatnot.
distance, but I feel like I could travel farther with carpet, but that's also not the best way to travel.
I feel like, okay, I'm going to go first. I don't know why I'm raising my hand. I'm going to say Capey because Capey is going to keep you're not going to fall off a Capey, right?
Right.
And even though carpet, I think, would catch you,
A lot of trust to put in the carpet.
that would freak me out. Like, I don't want to fall for 10 seconds and then be like, oh, okay, we're good. It's like the eagles from Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Like, they let you fall until they catch you with their
Right.
crazy claws. Like, I'm going Capey.
I'm going with Capey just because Capey is so cool.
And he can wipe your tears. Didn't he wipe a tear?
Yeah. No.
Well, carpet could do that too. It's just he's got tassels.
Tassels.
So it tickles
I
a little bit.
don't think he wiped
hate
his tears.
tassels.
He had like a little bit of like
Like
water because he was shaving. No.
Shaving as Doctor Strange?
Yeah, he was shaving in the hospital. Remember?
No, he shaved at the beginning of the movie when his hands were all jacked up.
He shaved in the hospital.
KP's just guiding his hands as he's.
He didn't have KP when he was in the
But
hospital.
I think he did wipe something off of his face.
He
I
did.
remember
He did.
that.
Yeah, I guess that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
But anyways,
You going KP or carpet?
I don't know, man. Honestly, with these gas prices, carpet.
Fair enough, dude. That's fair enough.
I'll go with carpet. And here's the
they
thing,
ain't got no more
yeah.
carpet spaces
Oh, no,
left.
for
I'm gonna
sure,
have to
man.
park somewhere
Hey,
else.
forget a Prius. I'm going with carpet all day.
That's a really good point.
That's fair. Yeah, you know what? Carpet would probably be better for my commute than KP.
Someone's going to shoot you down out of the sky.
No. Carpet dodges.
Ah, dang.
Dips and dodges.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and
Dip us and
dodge.
dodges, precious.
Michelle, did you choose one?
KP.
KP.
All right.
Yeah.
2 capes, 2
Carpets.
carpets.
2 capes and 2 carpets. Let us know what your mode of transportation will be in the comments.
This was a funny one. Good job, Lou.
All right.
Good job, indeed.
Turning red.
Turning Red. This movie came out in just this week in 2022.
The one we're recording this.
As of this recording. It stars Rosalie Chang, Sandra Oh, Ava Morse, and some others. Mostly like child actors, actually, which is cool.
Child.
I mean,
You're right.
Who played the main kids? And it was directed and written by Domi Shi, who you might know from the Pixar short Bao, and she's also been a storyboard artist on tons of Pixar movies over the past 10 or so years. I
Right.
believe.
Correct. So,
Correct.
there were some people who were excited for this movie on the podcast, and then there was the majority of people.
Who was excited?
Andre.
Oh,
So,
And
sorry.
There's,
Be explicit. I don't know who's who.
there's the majority of people. Well,
There
there
were
was
4 people.
unsure. Yeah, so if Andre was
Why are
excited
we
and
saying
us
about
3 were
majority? You're
unsure,
making it seem like it's like
that's
20
majority.
people.
Yeah, you, Michelle, and me. That's the majority in the 4.
Nah, I think it's improper use of the numbers in our podcast, but whatever.
Luis doesn't know
gotta
Majority
math.
just means the
statistician
most.
in here.
No, I understand that. I'm just indicating.
Are you
that
an
it is
English teacher?
Improper.
Are you a mathematician?
It's an improper example.
To each their own. I'm still using that word.
Anywho,
Majority rules.
Get out of here.
I am so
So-
sorry. I'm cackling people.
I want
no,
us
it's
to
okay.
start with the person
Andre's
who...
turning me down.
I'm adjusting the levels. Go ahead.
Yeah, you are, huh? I want to start with the person who was excited. Andre, what was your first impression?
First impression, I thought this movie was great. I thought it was hilarious the entire way through. I really enjoyed the animation style of it, right? So this one definitely differs from most Pixar movies. I would say that another one that differs a lot is like The Incredibles and Incredibles 2, just because of the body shapes and the way the powers work and stuff like that. But this
Right.
one,
It's not taking on that realistic...
right. This one is in
They're bulbous.
They're much more bulbous,
Cartoony.
and it's very cartoony, and the style of the animation is cartoony as well. Like, you know, they go through like some magical girl changes, and then, you know, sometimes like sparks fly around
Well,
May's
that's the
head and stuff
anime
like that. Right? Yeah,
aspect of
there's
it,
definitely
yeah.
an
Oh
anime.
my gosh, I love
definitely an
that.
anime influence.
And the eyeballs.
Yes, exactly. Her eyes like glitter and glide when she's sees cute stuff or cute boys or whatever.
Very much like.
Anime.
What kind of anime style is that though?
That's
Because you know, like they
that's
have like
anime.
different anime styles.
I mean, it's like a cutesy, like a Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
This movie reminded me of Sailor
Okay.
Moon a lot. You know.
'Cause there's no Cowboy Bebop. Okay.
Right,
like
yeah,
kawaii.
that's true. Kawaii,
Very
yes.
kawaii.
So I enjoyed that aspect, and I thought that the movie was really funny, and, you know, even though I'm a man in his 30s, I found it quite relatable, just the teenage aspect of having all of these brand new emotions and not knowing how to deal with them and stuff like that. So I enjoyed the movie basically the whole way through. It even had good fake pop songs in there. It was
Bops.
good stuff.
There was some bops. I'm never gonna let you down. Okay, let's go with the
Something
other.
about my tummy.
Let's go with the other man on the podcast, Luis. What did you think of the Turning Red?
I liked it. It was cool.
Yeah.
The animation for split seconds, especially with the boy TJ, whatever his name was. I don't know what his name was, but anyways,
Tyler.
Tyler, I'm like thinking, man, this guy's coming straight out of the Luca movie, man. They look very
true.
similar, but at the same time, it was so different in the animation.
Yeah.
You know, like this movie is very similar to like Chicken Run.
Excuse me?
Almost to
What?
me, but without the clay.
Interesting.
I've never seen Chicken Run.
Oh,
but
you've never seen Chicken Run?
I mean, I haven't. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna sit here and say I've seen it, but like,
So how is it like
it's
Chicken
very,
Run?
like you say, it bulbous.
The
Very-
bulbous.
Oh.
Yeah, the
I get what
size
you're
and
saying
shape
about
of the
bulbous.
characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Like I noticed it in their teeth
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, they all have like big teeth, right?
and the
Everybody's
little
got big
legs
teeth.
and feet. Everything is very.
Did you guys watch the making of?
It was like 49 minutes. I
No,
did not
we watched
watch it.
It was
long,
good.
but
Well, good
watched
for
We
it.
watched
you.
it another day. Like we
Nay.
didn't watch it in the same day, but it was very good.
We
But
looked
that's
at
what
it
they
and we were like, it's not 7 minutes. All right.
they were
yeah.
going for
Bye.
non-traditional Pixar. You know, they were trying to get out of the cookie cutter. Okay, I'm gonna go next because I was skeptical. I was like, oh, it looks good, but I don't want to get my hopes up. That's kind of how I felt about it. But I really, really liked this movie. Okay, these are a bunch of girl middle schoolers in the year 2002. Okay, and you're speaking to millennials up in here. Okay,
How old were we in 2002?
2002, 11, right?
yeah, you were
Born in
11.
91. Yeah, 11.
So, I mean, we're pretty close to that.
Exactly.
Yes,
Right behind May.
It's just perfect. Okay, they got Tamagotchis, they got NSYNC-esque music, they just living their lives, and it was really cool to see like a Pixar movie that was more geared towards teenagers. I mean, all Pixar movies are for kids,
Or
you know
are
what
for
I mean, or
everybody.
for preteens, or for everybody, like you said. And this one was just talking about different things, but in a way that wasn't like crazy.
Yeah, I
to
think
me.
it was
like I
geared
thought it
towards
was very
Preteens and young teenagers.
yeah, like preteens,
right?
not like teenagers maybe, but yeah, like preteens, middle schoolers. It was really good. I really enjoyed it, and honestly, it was so funny, and the friends are so funny. That I told Andre after we were done watching it, I wanted to watch it the next day again. I was like, that movie was so good. Like, I really liked it. Emily, the most skeptical.
Yeah, I was. Abby's my favorite character.
Me too.
Dude,
Oh,
Audrey
I
loves
love
her.
Abby.
She's
God.
terrifying.
right?
That's what Louis said. He's like, she's scary.
She is scary. I like the Canadian one. Well, they're all Canadian.
They're all Canadian,
but
but-
the cookie cutter Canadian one. Miriam or something.
No, I'm sorry. Every time Abby came on screen, I was like, yes, because
That's
she
hilarious.
was so like intense and
She's terrifying. Her eyebrows are like so thick that make them so expressive.
I loved her. May, I mean, she's like a product of her environment, right?
Yeah.
The second favorite character was the grandma. Okay.
Yeah.
She was like, talk about terrifying. Scary. Excuse me. Sorry.
That's good.
But overall, I thought it was good. The weird thing for me is like the age of my children.
Sure.
So we watched it the first time with the kids, and I realized very quickly that I think it's too old for them at the age they are.
Yeah.
Because it's geared towards a certain age group.
Yeah.
And so like, I mean, my 3-year-old, it's no big deal. But like for my almost 5-year-old where she's getting her like little sass on,
Right.
I think it was too much. So I straight up told her, I was like, Addie, I think it's too old for you. So we're not gonna watch it again until you're older. But it's funny because the fox parts, she
panda.
calls
the
her,
panda.
oh my God, I'm going to do that. She calls it a fox.
Yeah. I mean, it does kind of, it's similar.
The little ears, I think.
And more, the color.
Yeah. So obviously the panda is what the kids like,
Right.
Yeah.
So she was like, I love the panda, and I was like, well,
Panda movie.
you know, I felt bad, but at the same time, that was my only like skeptical piece.
Right.
Was
Okay.
that, I mean, you know, it was hard, but then again, I'm sure we're going to talk about it. That was one of the main issue, like when people talk about quote unquote the issues of this, and I mean, I'm a faith believer, but like all the Christian people came out and were like,
Andre and I watched a video on YouTube of this guy who was like 5 reasons why if you're a Christian you shouldn't have your kids watch Turning Red, and his biggest gripe was that Mei was openly disobeying her mom. And I was like thinking in my head, like Ariel disobeyed her father.
Ariel, Mulan.
Mulan disobeyed her whole family.
Can't think
dishonor.
of a single
So I'm pretty sure that's just like a theme
movie,
of
film, TV, book, comic book.
And I
where
really
a
want to be
teenager
like, you're
doesn't
telling me your
disobey
kid
their
has
children
never
or their
disobeyed you.
parents.
Like, that's a
Yeah.
theme of growing up.
I think that they're mad because it was all in one movie, but like you said, every single thing has been done, but they just haven't all had it in one spot.
Right.
So like if
Yeah.
that's what you're mad about, like don't let your kids watch any media.
They were
Exactly.
also
Sorry.
mad that they used the word sexy, but I'm seriously was dying on that scene where she's drawing freaking pictures of her crush as a mermaid, and then she's like, "Why did I draw all those sexy things?" And I was dying.
So-
And Andre was like,
Did she
"Is that
say
you?"
crap?
I think she
Yep.
did say
Well, and Luis and I were like, oh, okay, here we are.
But she's a little preteen. I mean,
No, for sure. It wasn't like a bad thing. It was like, that's where we
Yeah.
going.
But I do agree with you that they could be like you said, it's going to go over Ollie's head. It's whatever.
Yeah.
Or they could. Yeah, Addie's kind of that in between. Like, I feel like my 7-year-old or whatever, I'd be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think that
Or I might just tell them like, oh, that's what this is and that's what that. But
I
the
think-
sassiness I get.
I think that this is a movie that earns its PG rating more than a lot of other
for
PG
sure.
movies.
Are
you know?
Pixar movies
And-
usually PG?
uh,
No.
It
I'll
doesn't
have to
come
look that
up on the children's profile because
Oh,
we have
okay.
like an adult
Oh,
and a child.
okay.
So you have to go on the adult profile to
makes
get
sense.
it. But here's my thing. If you're going to watch, this is my opinion. If you're going to have your child watch this movie,
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's the perfect opportunity as a parent to have some hard conversations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because the relationship between Mei and her mom is so, I'm trying to come
It's
up with a
interesting.
word.
Reminds me of Brave though.
Well, oh yeah.
I
So
was thinking of
Because
Brave.
that
also.
Brave was
relationship.
hard for me to watch.
Sorry, I'm gonna cuss. It's so f***ed up that like that's a good conversation starter. Like who
Yes.
could have like reached out right here? Like what was done wrong?
Right.
What should we do instead?
It was interesting that she didn't completely hate her mom because there was a couple things there
She
where I was
admired her.
like,
She looked up to
"Woo."
her. You know?
But
Well, and that's the
also,
thing.
they were tying in a lot of
The cultural pieces.
aspect of
Sure.
it too. Where I follow a lot of Disney influencers, and some of them are
Mm-hmm.
Asian, and they're like, this representation is how it is.
Yeah.
Like just different family dynamics too. But yeah, you're completely right. When Brave came out, that's how I felt.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, this is making me so uncomfortable.
Well, and I have trigger
Like-
issues, so I was over here like, oh.
See, this one
You
didn't
know?
get me as much as Brave. Brave, I
Yeah.
was like very uncomfortable. But it's the same thing, like you
Mm-hmm.
said. Yeah.
I just think it's important for you, if it bothers you, to have conversations about it because
Yeah.
it's just the perfect opportunity. Like people were freaking out because she, what do you call it? Like she snuck out of the house.
Right.
Well, then talk
How many
about it.
kids
Yeah.
movies does that happen with? Yeah, just tell them like, or whatever. I feel like it's so interesting because I thought people were going to complain about the period thing the most. And I feel like I haven't seen as much of that
No.
on the media as other things where I'm like, really, that's the issue that they went
That's
with.
what got you,
Because
huh?
I thought that they were going to be more mad about the fact that she had got her period.
Dude.
And that the monster is like a period monster.
But I don't
know.
Yeah. Period panda.
Period panda.
Dude, I was gonna die. Sorry, I know that was loud. I was gonna die when the mom comes in with all of her box
All
of
of her
stuff.
stuff.
Oh my
She's
god.
like, oh my god, it's happening so soon.
Oh my god.
Andre was like, so soon? Your daughter's like a teenager.
Yeah.
Can happen soon, yeah.
So
I thought I was gonna die with that. It was so
I did
funny.
bring up the G versus PG Pixar films here
okay.
real quick. So everything is G except for The Incredibles.
because of the hips. And the violence.
It's because of
badonk.
Mrs. Incredible. Yeah.
Well, what is they
Yeah.
sexually suggestive scenes?
Yeah, incredible booty. Let's see
But
here.
it was violent.
So violence probably. Let's see here. Brave. The Good
Trigger.
Dinosaur. Inside Out. Finding Dory. Coco. Incredibles 2. Onward. Soul. Luca. Turning Red.
So is it because there's death in all of those, do you think?
Possibly, but I mean,
Up, it wasn't
Luca.
PG.
let me think. I'm sorry. What?
I said Up wasn't PG.
Up is PG. I said
Oh,
up.
oh.
I'm not sure. I'm just looking at
Why was Luca PG?
a list of the films and their ratings. I can look up
Because they had a little
individually why
gay
each
couple
one
in it.
has,
They were like, PG.
But I don't think it's so funny because that one I did not get that
I don't
vibe.
really know why movies get certain ratings really anyways. Like, I don't know how that all works. I know if there's like
MPAA.
cursing and stuff, it's going to be PG-13 or higher, but I don't really know how they rate things per
Are you
se.
looking up Luca?
Yes, Luca, rated PG for rude humor, language, some thematic elements, and brief violence.
Where was the violence?
I don't remember the violence, but
I mean, they were about to beat up that kid with the bike or whatever, right? Weren't they? I don't know. I can't remember at this point.
I don't remember either.
Ooh, the creepy kid with the little tiny mustache.
Oh yeah. But I mean, Luca's a movie where he disobeys his parents as well. I don't remember.
It's
Big
every
time.
movie. Literally, you could name a movie. I'd be like, dishonoring a family.
Well, especially because they're kids.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what kids
We watched
do.
Home Alone and that little
Oh
was
my God.
so bad. He was so bad, like
Yeah.
disrespectful.
All time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but man, I really, really liked this movie. The soundtrack was a freaking bop. So also the way the movie opens is so funny to me. She's like, I'm May May, and I'm
That
something
she narrates.
24/7, 365, and I got my Tamagotchi, and I was like, she's
I know.
a middle
I
schooler.
hang out with my mom.
And she like
I help
goes
her
to
run
like
the store.
throw like a basketball and it like totally
Totally
misses and
misses.
she's
Not
like,
these new
I'm
freaking
fine.
TikToker generation. Okay, like this is old generation middle schoolers.
oh,
Yes.
stop there. That's one of my favorite parts is that it's not set right now.
Yeah,
like
I
it's
like
set.
that.
Yes. Well, I
Oh
mean,
my God.
Domi, she said it in her timeline. You know what
I
I
love
mean?
it.
Like when she was a teenager or whatever.
Oh my God.
But and
Late
then
90s,
Yes.
The
early
fact that
2000s, fantastic.
They tie in a boy band, which is, I think Andre. Okay, so it's called Four Town, right? And they're
Uh-huh.
Four Townies for life.
And
And the
there's
mom
5
is
of
like,
them.
well, why is there 5 people? And Andre was like, valid question. And
No,
I think it's
Louise
because the
said it.
twins count as one person or something like that.
Luis,
That's what I was thinking.
Luis was like, "There's 5 of us."
Because Aaron T and Aaron Z,
Robert.
they're
Were they twins?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Oh, I thought
'Cause
they were twins.
They have 2 different last names. He's
Oh,
Aaron
shoot,
T.
you're right.
He's Aaron Z.
I
They're
thought
both
they
named
counted
Aaron.
that's
but
what
they
I thought,
rhyme, so the Aarons are
Yeah.
one.
It's like saves doves, saves injured doves. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
wow, what a great pastime, But I all I needed was for them to also open a magazine of Teen Beat and be like, oh, there they are. But they
Right.
kind of did that. They
Yeah.
did flashes to like the different things like that.
Yes,
and
exactly.
them
The
drawing
highlights of
photos
Four
or
Town.
whatever.
The one-
okay, this
The
is
one
so
thing
funny.
that did bug me, and this is a stupid thing to bug you, but like in the commercial, in the trailer,
Oh,
it was in sync,
Yeah.
right?
Right, yeah.
And
They played an NSYNC song.
like you
over the trailer.
can't be doing that to a girl.
I was expecting
I was
an
expecting
NSYNC song
NSYNC too, but
to
I
appear at least
thought-
once during the movie or
Yeah.
in the
But
credits.
the only reason they did that is probably because they didn't want to reveal who their
I mean,
fake boy band was or something.
they
you know?
wanted
But
to
it
hype
could
it
have
up.
even been at like the party that like what's his name threw.
Yeah, it could have just been on in the
Yeah.
You know,
background or something
and
like
even
that.
quiet. But I was waiting for it's gonna be me.
Yeah.
But the
Or
song is
no strings attached.
the song is really catchy though that they sing. You never know on my mind. I was singing it the other day. I was like, I love boy
No,
band songs.
it was fantastic, but yeah, I was
So-
over here like waiting.
All right, so May May is the main character, obviously. She lives with her mom and her dad
In Canada.
In Canada, we're in Toronto, Canada, and they live in a temple, which is really cool. They like run it. It's like their business
Yeah.
too, or whatever. So that's really cool. And then she has 3 best friends. So her best friends are Miriam, Abby,
With the braces.
and Priya.
Abby's a crazy one. And then Priya, yeah.
Priya.
With the glasses.
She. Yeah, nice, cool.
She's so
She was
funny.
like a little flat to me. They could have done a little more with her, but I guess that's just how she was supposed to be.
Yeah, that's how she
you know
is,
what I
I
mean?
guess. Mhm.
because she's the antithesis of Abby.
yeah.
They're just the weird friend group that we all had in middle school, and bunch
We've
of
all
weirdos.
been there.
Right, yeah.
And I love that what is
It's
it?
you, Ethan, Manny, and
Oh, dude.
what's
yeah.
his name?
Papish. Oh, cheesy. I was thinking
Papish.
of Josh Papish.
Oh,
Hey, sorry for saying your whole name on the pod, dude.
okay, Papish, you right.
But
But
Cheesy-
Cheesy came in
Jesus
too.
was dope.
He was a fifth wheel.
No.
So
It was
they're
rotating crew.
walking. they're walking
with their oatmeal
home.
cream pies.
They're all
Which
like
Andre's
they're-
eating right now.
They're all
Yeah.
really good students, right? They all get A's or whatever. So they're walking home from school. They're in 8th grade,
Yes.
right? Okay, 8th grade.
Or maybe
They're
7th grade.
They're walking home from school. They're starting the 8th grade, and
grade.
no,
In
it's
6th
8th grade, dude.
No, I'm just throwing numbers.
They're in
out there.
junior high.
I'm just throwing numbers out there.
I was like, stop doing this to me. So they're walking by like a corner store, you know, where you buy something. And what's the dude in there that they think is so hot?
What was his name?
What is his name?
Justin?
No.
Dylan or something.
Dylan.
Is it Dylan?
Yeah, I
Think
think,
so.
I think it is Dylan.
Dylan, and they're just like looking at him through the window, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Which I'll be honest, at that age,
we were totally doing.
I was totally
Yeah,
boy.
me
I
too.
mean, let's be real. I'm still.
Gawking.
I was boy crazy until I met Luis. So it started at
Yeah,
5,
same. I was
which is
definitely
awful
boy
because that's going to
crazy.
be Addie's age. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Addie's already boy crazy.
Oh, Arlo.
Yeah, she got a little.
She got a little man.
At Addie's or at Ollie's party last weekend, I was like, "Is Arlo coming today?" She's like, "I did not invite him."
Oh.
I was like, "Oh, okay." So it's
No,
just
yeah, but like
the way
it's
that,
funny.
And I mean, I guess I'm speaking from a female perspective, so it's a little more relatable to me. But it might also be relatable to men. You saw those little girls giggling and gawking at you, I'm sure. When
They
you were,
weren't gawking at me. I was looking at them from afar, all
that's because
sad.
you had that cloud jacket.
My backpack. Hey, my cloud jacket was tight. Don't be doing that. Don't be throwing shade on the
and your
cloud.
chains.
Listen, the cloud jacket throws shade on you. You don't throw shade on the cloud jacket. You know what I mean?
What about your chains?
I only had a couple of chains, and they were diminutive. You know, they were small
Okay.
because I couldn't
Did
afford
you
it. I couldn't
really-
afford a
baggy
big one. Oh
pants?
yeah,
Did you really wear chains?
Uh-huh, I had
I
chains.
don't
Baggy
remember
pants.
that.
It was in 7th grade. They had
There's
washed
a
out
picture.
by the time
Can
I
you
got to high
find the
school.
picture of you in your baggy pants and your cloud jacket?
Is
No,
that the
no, I
one where
can't.
you're in,
Guys, find it. We're gonna.
is that the
post
one
it.
where you're in the stroller?
No, he's
I'm
like in middle school.
significantly older. Thank you very much.
No, he's
Like,
like in
how
like
dare
six-
you?
6 months. Luis, were girls gawking after you? With you and your son in?
Nah.
Okay, whatever. The point is,
If I was being gawked at, I did not
you
notice.
better find that photo right now.
I'm podcasting. I
I
don't know how
don't
far
care. You
back
gotta
this
find it so
was.
we can look at it.
Goodness gracious.
So it's very relatable to Emily and I.
Yeah.
So what was kind of bugging me is that men are posting like, "Oh, this movie is only for girls. It's like unrelatable, blah blah blah. Why would they make a movie geared towards only that gender?" I'm like,
Luca
okay.
was on. Dude, Onward?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, come on. What,
You're
what
just
are we doing,
mad
guys?
that there's a fully female cast on this
How
animated
about like
movie.
95%
And now we're
of
talking
every
about
superhero movie ever
periods
made?
and
Like,
stuff. So just take
chill out.
a deep breath and calm down. That it's
Yeah.
unrelatable for you. Also, you make it relatable for you. If my son, which I will have a son, is watching this movie and he's like, "What's a period? What's a this?"
Like,
then
dude-
I'll tell him what it is.
Yeah.
Dude, why does it have to do with you? Why does it have to relate to
Right,
you?
you're
Why
watching
can't
a
it
story.
just be?
It's just a movie.
Like,
Exactly.
that's...
It relates to someone.
No... yes, I agree with you with what you're saying. I'm just saying no with like, dude...
You're just annoyed.
I'm just annoyed about that. Like, that's the problem with half of the people that give these... I don't know.
You should have heard
We
him
have two men
yesterday.
here that enjoyed the movie.
Luis was literally like losing his mind over like pop culture and people in general. He was like, why have people got to get on the internet? You were pretty much like mad about internet trolls and how people are like so opinionated over stuff
yeah,
that
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
matter.
Right.
And
Yeah,
like,
or that doesn't even pertain to them.
Yeah.
Oh, which is
Where'd you
funny.
come from?
It's the one about that girl that I follow, the Twitch streamer, right?
yeah.
It's funny. I got to tell you because the guy responded to me, but I got to tell you
man.
what he said.
Yeah, he was so mad because there was like
I
this
wasn't
girl.
mad. I was just like, come on, man.
okay, well, you were complaining about it.
I was more kind of like disappointed. Like, come on, this,
Let's
Anyways.
not, yeah.
Unnecessary.
Anywho,
But I feel it. People got troll in this movie. Whatever. That's fine.
Yeah, I guess, or whatever.
Trolls got a
I
troll.
was talking to a coworker at work about this movie today, and she was like, "Yeah, my son, he actually was a little uncomfortable watching this movie. I think he's 9.
Oh, okay.
She was like, he was having a good time throughout most of the movie, but then when she got to drawing the sexy pictures or whatever, he was like, I need to excuse myself."
but I wonder okay, so it's funny
Maybe he
because
thought
But as you said, I think
embarrassing.
that's more of a teaching moment.
He
Yeah.
probably just thought it was embarrassing. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a teaching moment. Yeah.
well, and especially because okay, this is going to be super gender specific and it's probably going to offend some people. I'm sorry, but like boys, I think are more apt to be, I don't know,
Sexual beings?
yeah, like sexualizing.
Yeah, I think you're correct.
And at that age, like I said, like I was boy crazy, but like based on what I was exposed to, it was more like, oh my gosh, you talk to me, it's so cute. Like I'm not thinking about like really kissing a boy or like getting intimate. Like I feel like boys are more likely to be like, I don't know, just more
I couldn't stop staring at butts when 13. I couldn't stop.
But I also think
I saw. I didn't see
that's
anybody's
like a
faces.
biological instinct of them
reproduction.
Once puberty hits. No, think about their testosterone levels once puberty hits. Like that's
crazy
through the roof.
Kind of is what it is. Middle school's no joke. Okay,
Still
neither
trying to
is really
recover.
high school. It's rough out there. It's rough out there for those homies. You know, we've been there, done that.
So at this point in the movie, May, as they're gawking at this boy, she's not on the level of the other girls quite yet.
She's like, what are they seeing?
She's like, whatever. Why do we even talk about him when we could be talking about Four Town? Okay, our favorite pop band that we're obsessed with. Yeah, they start singing the song, which is very funny.
Abby is crazy. She is insane.
She's my favorite.
So they're big fans of the boys, and then May goes home. She tells her mom vaguely about Four Town because I think a commercial comes on, and her mom's like, "Oh, why would anybody like this? I hate it." And May like tries to cover. And she's like, "Oh well, you know, my friends are kind of into it, so you know." Like, oh,
and their mom's like, "Your friends are weird.
They're trying to indoctrinate
like,
you." So she goes to her room.
Her family dynamic is very, you know.
Oh, I also really like the dad.
Oh, yeah.
Like even from the beginning,
when he's
the
like
dad's
taking
like,
the freaking bows, he's like on the side, like whenever the mom's not looking, he's all. Putting one in his mouth. He's so cute.
He was sneaking the food.
He was over here with his dim sum, like. But that's me. Like people look somewhere else. I'm like, oh, where'd that other one go?
Let's be real. The food looked delicious. So she's actually close. She's close to her
very close to the mom.
and they run the temple together and things like that.
Hang out every day.
But she
talk all the time.
I think even in the opening scene, she says that she has like a lot of pressure on her to just be like the perfect daughter.
It's cleaning day. She's like, every day is cleaning day. Like, well,
gotta be the perfect daughter, and there's a lot of pressure there. Okay?
Exactly.
So she's in her room trying to do her math homework.
well, hold on. Like, this is just a short thing,
Oh,
but
okay.
like in the temple, like the mom like goes through the thing about the ancestors
the red panda.
and how like the ancestor lady, I don't know, I shouldn't call her that, but
Sun Yi.
Sun Yi was
their
in the time of
ancestors.
war, and all the husbands and men went off to war, and so she felt unprotected, and she had her young children, so she prayed.
Yeah, she found a way
She asked Sun Yi to help her, basically.
Well,
And
wasn't
the-
it Sun
Sun
Yi
Yi
was
was
the
Oh,
one?
I'm sorry.
Well, it wasn't
prayed
because she
to-
felt unprotected. They were getting attacked.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So to be a bit more specific to that.
So in response to that, she found a way to magically turn herself into a gigantic red panda and was able to defend her town and
Basically
loved
on
ones
demand.
from attack.
On demand.
Yeah,
On
like
demand.
when she needs the panda,
On
she
demand.
can summon the panda.
On demand.
On the panda.
And I kind of liked the way the mom said it. Like over time, you know, it became obsolete. Like we moved out of
It was like a burden.
China,
Moved out of danger.
and now it's
Don't need it per
you know.
se. You
So
know?
I thought that was really cool as like the explanation to the panda.
Yeah.
and how
I did too, but it was bugging me that they were trying to ban the panda. I'm like, if I turned into a panda, that'd be so
That's a banda.
legit. Whatever. So she goes to her room.
Mm-hmm.
She's working on her math homework because she is an A+ student.
Like
okay,
she normally does.
And then she's thinking about why her friends thought Dylan was hot.
I don't even like Dylan. What's
and
wrong?
then she's
What's up
like,
with him?
maybe it's his hair, or, you know, his face. I don't know. She's just going on about it.
Maybe it's
and then
his
she
muscles.
literally,
She's, like, drawing
it
muscles.
was literally
Oh my
the best
God.
because I mean, I can also probably say that teenage guys did this, but when you're in your room and you're trying to hide something from your parent, it was just perfect. Like, we've all been trying to hide something from our parent in our room, or your parent doesn't knock on the door and you're like, what the heck?
It's
You know?
so funny when
she's freaking sneaking her journal
She's drawing
under
and
the bed.
She just like slowly pulls the journal away down her face and then rolls under the bed and proceeds to draw down
good.
there.
And I love that she's drawing him as a freaking mermaid.
Yeah.
She's drawing him as literally like Edward Cullen. I feel like in one with like the swoopy hair.
It would be like
Like
Tuxedo
an
Mask
angel
from
and
Sailor Moon.
very like anime-esque drawings. And then Andre was asking me, he's like, is that what you're doing? You were drawing pictures? I was like, no, I suck at drawing. So I was just writing my name with their last name over and over and over again for pages and pages. But no, I wasn't drawing because I suck at drawing.
Take one, pass it down. There you go. Take one, pass it down. Anywho, we've been interrupted by snacks.
And it's Disneyland snacks. Okay. Do you want a chocolate one?
No, you take it. I'm good.
What the heck? Okay.
So
Get out of here.
So as she's drawing, her mom comes in to check on her, right? So
My God. This next scene, I literally can't.
Oh my God.
I know what Emily's talking about. This is absolutely horrible.
the mom comes in. I don't think she knocks, right? She just she barges
I looked
in.
at Luis and was like, well, this is where I died.
She barges in. She's like, May, what's going on? What's happening? What are you doing? And May's like, oh, nothing's happening. She's all out of breath or whatever. And
May's like, don't look at the journal.
yeah, don't look at the journal on the ground. And she like can't resist and she's sweating. And then she looks down for half a second and mom was like, oh, what's this? Is this your homework? Let me look through it. And she immediately starts flipping
my
through.
gosh,
And
worst
her
nightmare.
face just turns to stone as she flips each page.
These are things you don't do as a mom. And I looked Andre dead in the eyes at this and I said, this is traumatizing and she will remember this for the rest of her life.
I feel like
the rest of her life.
I feel like we talked about this when we were watching Freaky Friday because
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis went and stole Lindsay Lohan's diary or
You
whatever.
just
And was
don't
reading
do
through it and
that.
it's like, man, this is you're wrong, mom. This is not the move.
Oh, right in front of her.
So
next part's even
So
worse.
anyway, Ming, the mom, is
Oh my God.
she goes off because it's another problem with Ming. As a character, as a mother, she can't see her daughter as anything but her perfect daughter.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah, she blames everybody else but
She's
May.
like, is that
Right.
the boy from the corner store? Did he take advantage of
what
you?
did he do to you?
What did he do to you?
It's like this is a drawing that
And I
May
was
drew
ready.
of
I was
him.
ready for May to like be like nothing. Like I just have a crush on him, but she like literally can't because
She couldn't even speak.
Because she just doesn't want to disappoint her mom
Yeah.
in any way. So she's like, okay, well he'll take the blame, right? No, get
Yeah.
in the freaking car, drive
down to the corner store. And this is the corner store she goes to all the time. All the time. All her
with
friends
your
go to it.
pictures. Freaking confront
She brings the whole journal.
Dylan. Saying, why did you take advantage of my daughter?
And
I
Dylan
was
does
like,
not know
oh.
who this girl. I mean, he maybe has seen her before, but
He doesn't.
has
know
no
who it
interest in
is.
her
He
whatsoever.
doesn't. He's like
17
he's
or whatever.
17. Yeah.
You know?
He doesn't know.
Yeah, he doesn't care, and he's like, "What? What's happening?" And
like, huh?
Ming is out here threatening legal action and all kinds of stuff. She is
Dude,
throwing
it's
the
so
hammer down.
crazy. This was the one scene where I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so uncomfortable." And Andre was just going, "Yikes!" like the whole time. He
Was
like,
Tyler
"She needs
there
to
too?
chill."
Tyler was there.
Tyler's
Tyler's the little boy with
soft.
braces that hangs out at the school and like bullies these girls.
I like Tyler.
with the Band-Aid on his face. Was
Like
that a
Nelly.
thing?
I think that's like a Nelly thing.
Oh my God. Okay, that makes sense now.
I was like,
And now I
Emily,
remember
that's
Nelly
the
with
thing,
that, but
yeah.
I was like, the hell does he have that on his face?
Why? Yeah. So Ming successfully embarrasses
her.
May to the nth degree. Like the few kids that were in that corner store when she did that must have spread it to the entire school or whatever.
They
right?
were posting freaking pictures of it around the school.
Yeah, that's right.
Of
Well, that was,
the
that was mostly
drawings.
Tyler.
Well, yeah,
that's a Tyler
Tyler,
thing.
yeah,
Tyler's got
that's
Tyler's got a
So
complex.
she
or
goes
something.
home and she cries, and it's like awful. She like goes to her room and she's just crying. I'm like, oh my god. I had to take a moment there because there are just some things, whether intentional or not,
Right.
like intentional or not. I'm sure her mother's intention was not to.
Her mother's intention was to protect her daughter from this
Yes, which
evil, creepy boy.
I get, okay, whatever. Evil creepy boy, poor kid. He
Right.
didn't even know.
She didn't have any context, and she rushed in without thinking. Hot-headed.
And this is where you could definitely have one of
Panda-headed.
those hard conversations with your kid if you're watching this. Like, you know, communication is a great idea.
Right.
Yeah, like
If you have a crush on
this
someone,
is a
you can
time,
tell me.
right?
Or
Okay.
or not.
Crushes
I'm not
are
gonna
normal.
cry. It's okay.
Honestly, she should have apologized. If I had opened the book and seen some of those drawings, I would have been like, oh, I'm so sorry. And like given it back. Like, oh, sorry. That looks like your private stuff.
Yes.
And then just like walk out the room or something, you know? Like
Yeah,
crack
exactly.
a joke and be like, oh, okay, bye.
And do the like, if there's anything you want to talk to me about, I'm here.
I'm here.
Because this is the age where you're going to be
experiencing some new
Interested
things.
and-
Right.
yeah.
Right. All
I used
of
to
that
draw
stuff.
boys as mermaids too. You know.
Shut up. No, you didn't.
Dude, I did not, but it was literally
But she imagined
so,
them as mermaids. That's all.
so funny. And they kept like cartoonizing it, like making it like.
So that's the
so
thing
funny.
is that after this heavy embarrassment,
Reminds
May
me- oh,
May
wait.
goes to sleep and she has a nightmare, right? And the nightmare compiles all of these things together. It's Dylan as a mermaid, and it's her
It was like
friends,
Lisa Frank vibes
and
up
it's
in there.
Tyler, and it's Dylan, and it's her mom as a huge behemoth beast or whatever. And then at the end of that nightmare, she wakes up and she is a red panda. She's gigantic and she's furry and she's
Adolescence,
strong.
Puberty has hit her.
yeah overnight.
I
Just
think
like
it
that.
hit some of her friends before, huh? Like
I mean, they all had crushes on Dylan. I think legitimate.
I think she was, like,
crushes,
the
you know?
last one of the group,
Yeah, I
maybe,
think she
that
was,
it hit
she was
or
the last
something.
one. And you know, they all love Fort Town, but I assume that the other girls have like legit crushes on the boys, whereas May was just like admiring them as a band, I guess.
Abby's over
until
here
this
like,
night. yeah. Abby's going in hard.
Oh my God, I love her.
So
She's ready to like kick down in an alleyway, like, come near my friend.
right. So now that May is a panda, you know, she's freaking out. Obviously, she's making a whole bunch of noise. She's running around. She thinks she has to hide it from
She's
her mother.
breaking her whole room.
Oh,
I was
her whole
so
room.
sad.
It's a disaster. She is a bull in a china shop. She's a red panda in a
Yeah, it's got some
a
Freaky
Chinese
Friday
house, I guess.
vibes. You wake up as something you're not. You're like, what?
Right, exactly. So she freaks out. She runs into the bathroom. She tries to hide, and this is when Ming, the mom, comes in with all of her period kit or whatever.
Oh my! I thought I was gonna die. Oh my gosh!
Because you know she hears the commotion or whatever. She's worried.
Say her period kid.
yeah. Her menstruation manual and whatever. And so she brings it in, and May is trying to hide in the shower. And
As a panda.
and mom is like, well, just come out here, let me look at you, let me see what you need, let me do all this, blah 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 blah. And May loses it, right? She's like, get out of here, which is something that she's obviously never said like
Yeah.
that to her mother before. And so her mom was like, oh my god, what is happening? Let's see what happens after this.
Okay, so can I?
Go
Okay,
ahead.
I had the feeling of like she's hit puberty, but at the same time, I didn't. While watching it, like now I see it, but while watching it, I didn't think to myself like, "Oh, she started her period."
Sure.
Like I didn't feel that way.
And I don't think she did. You know,
I don't
like,
think that's what we were supposed to think. I
within
think
the
it was-
movie
it
or
was-
whatever.
Honestly, maybe we were just supposed to feel like, ooh, she's coming into her own.
But
Yeah.
but
or
it is
something.
it is metaphorical, and I think it is all within the puberty space, right?
Sure.
She has this she falls in love with this boy on her math notebook, right? And then the next morning she turns into a gigantic panda. So it's all kind of
You've never
congealed
seen-
together.
Have you seen Big Mouth, the cartoon on Netflix?
Is that the one that we refuse to watch, Louise? Because
very
it's
raunchy.
creepy.
It's insanely raunchy.
Very raunchy.
It's a very raunchy show, but
they have something similar on there. It's called a hormone monster,
Mm.
and it just kind of reminds me of that.
so in Big Mouth,
I
just-
think
just
it's
to
because I don't
explain.
like the animation style. I saw
Yeah.
like, ooh,
You probably saw a clip or something like that.
Yeah.
So in
I was very skeptical.
in that
of it.
show-
is that the one
It's-
with the pickle Rick? The Rick
no,
pickle?
that's Rick and
No.
Morty.
Oh.
That's Rick and Morty.
Which is a whole different.
I
can of
haven't
worms.
seen that.
But
Pickle Rick?
in Big Mouth, it's very similar to this type of story.
But way more raunchy.
Right, obviously, much more on the raunchy side, not for kids at
No.
all.
An adult.
At all.
But
If you're a child, back it up.
yeah, you really should. But in that show, it's like they're all in middle school, right? It's all a bunch of preteen teenagers.
And they're hitting puberty.
And they're hitting puberty, and their puberty is manifesting as monsters that talk to them, and that
And
only
tell them
and
what
that
to
only
do.
they can really hear and interpret,
Sure.
right? So there's a hormone monster who tells them to do all kinds of dirty stuff
well,
and
and they're like,
whatnot.
why do I feel this way about this kid? Like,
And the hormone monster's
he's-
like, hey, well,
and
we
the
all
hormone
gotta go
monster's like,
through
yeah,
that. You
you
know what I
know,
mean?
yeah.
You know what make you feel better? Yeah, doing some of this stuff.
Yeah,
It's not for kids. It's
not
for
for
adults.
kids, but
Sure.
when she turns into the panda, that's what I was thinking.
Sure.
Of. It's just a different
It's a monster
manifestation or metaphor
Yes.
Sure.
for puberty or just anything.
growing up, honestly.
Puberty is monstrous, for sure.
Yeah, even just growing up.
Everyone can agree.
Yes.
Puberty was most of our worst times.
Yeah, it is. It's freaking sucks, dude.
I mean, like
Indeed.
my most awkward time for show, and it was
it
confusing.
was like 6th and 7th grade for me were the worst.
Yeah.
It was like right then. Yeah.
It was all bad. It didn't get good until I was like 24. You know.
I met Michelle and it
24.
turned around.
No, you were older than that when you met me. But
Oh, I thought you meant it was older than that when you turned it around.
Got over all this puberty nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah, Luis, how old were you when you married me? 22? 23?
Dude, you weren't 21.
I was 21.
Like 23.
So you were 23, 24?
We haven't been married for 10 years, homie.
8 years, so I don't know how to count.
I was 26.
So that
So
means
you were about
23.
24. I was
25? How old was I?
Point
So
being
stop
is
saying numbers.
Luis literally got it together like 6 months before we started dating.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
Never mind, because you weren't listening to the podcast. He's over here watching March Madness. That's the problem.
Listen,
It's gonna be April when this comes out.
That's true.
Sorry.
Some timey-wimey stuff happening over here. So
Blah, blah.
eventually, as some panda nonsense happens throughout the movie, right? May is discovered by some of the girls at school, and they think that the panda is super cute.
Yeah.
Right. So at this point in time, May and her friends realize that Four Town is actually coming to Toronto, and they're going to perform, and it costs like, I don't know, $300 a ticket or something like that, or they need $300 for all 4 tickets, something like that. So once these other girls realize that the panda is super cute, they realize that they can exploit the panda for money.
So good.
Which is great.
Did we talk about that on the podcast, or was that pre-podcast where we were talking about exploiting other kids for money?
I think that might have been pre-podcast. I think that was
We
on it.
literally had like a 20-minute conversation about that. Not that we ever did it,
No.
but some people are enterprising.
Buy some merch. So they make panda merch. They have kids come into like an empty classroom and take pictures of the panda, and they charge them $5 a pop. And they start to accumulate some funds so that they can go to this Four Town concert.
Michelle just broke something. in my
Yeah,
house.
she's being clumsy over
It
there.
sounded like you broke something. Do you guys remember when she dropped the soup all over my floor?
That was a lot of soup.
What was the other thing? Something out of the fridge.
There was water. She's a spiller. She likes to spill.
Pregnancy's not doing her well.
Pregnancy is not even an excuse. This is Michelle.
Oh, good Lord.
So because they're hyped up for this concert now, May's parents find out that she's a
She
panda,
does. Oh, yeah.
right? And mom, who has been through this before with the panda stuff, she's like, oh, that's what's happening. Okay, this is actually happening to you a lot earlier than it happened to me.
And she's like, you can't let anybody know you's a panda.
Exactly. Meanwhile, she's out here putting gigantic sunglasses on and dancing as a panda in the classroom or whatever on video.
So funny.
Yeah, May legitimately likes being the red panda, but it does only come out when she has like high emotions. So she has to kind of learn to control it a little bit within these first few scenes. So when the parents find out, they kind of like lock her in a room and try to get her to like wait it out. And mom invites her whole family over so that they can kind of discuss with May the.
She literally is on a mattress on the floor. And I was like,
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Take
Like,
all the furniture and stuff out of the rooms because when she pandas, she hulks out and she.
I guess so.
She werewolves up.
I just thought that was ridiculous. I was like, come on.
It's like the Shrieking Shack in Harry
Overkill
Potter
for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, it's better than like a padded room, but like, come on.
but it's not far off. So they lock her in this room, and she legitimately tears it up. Like it's all scratched to high heavens or whatever. And I think at this point the girls come over and try to convince May to like skip out and come hang out with them and go to a party. And at this party, they are going to use the panda to get the last $200 that they need from Tyler in order to go to the concert. She just has to do a panda performance or whatever. So before she can leave, her mom calls over May's grandma and aunts.
Dude, I was going to die when they popped through the temple doors
They came in hot. These
like
ladies.
so hot. And it was funny because it was like the representation of everyone's aunts.
Yes,
like
exactly.
the tall one,
There's
the chunky
big,
one,
big glasses aunt. There's the young aunt. You know,
the fashionista aunt.
They got every representation of aunt. And
dude, it was so funny.
And then one scarred, scary grandma.
when we first saw her, I was like, she the business.
I was like, she was the villain. This is the true villain of the story.
I loved her scar eyebrow. She looks like you. Don't you have a scar eyebrow?
I do have a scar eyebrow. It's mostly faded away. You can't really see it through my eyebrow.
So you're not as cool as grandma.
I'm not quite as cool as grandma, but I'll get there one day. I'll re-scar it up. Don't worry about me. The grandma and aunts, they explained to May the history about the passing down of the pandas and that. Eventually, they realized they didn't need it, so they found a way to exorcise it from their bodies and put it into a small jewel that they carry with them at all times.
Which I didn't get.
Normal lives.
Which I didn't get from the ants until later.
Right.
But when going back and watching it again, it was super cool to be like, oh,
when they walk in, they all do their struts, and it cuts to their faces, and it cuts to their like pendant or necklace or bracelet or whatever it is.
Which is really cool. The first time, I just thought they were showing off their bling.
Right, exactly. Which is exactly what they're doing. They're like, this is my fanciest jewelry right here. It's my panda.
But then at some point too, and I can't remember, I think it was before they got there, but May does a whole like PowerPoint presentation to her mom about why she should get to go to that freaking concert. I thought I was gonna die
that
because
was so funny.
That would have been me.
It was so
like
funny.
a whole like trifold.
Mom's gonna be impressed by this.
Yeah, like
I'm gonna have glitter and lights and presentation.
it's a theatrical performance.
It's a 3-act show that we
Dude,
got going on.
killer.
And also at this point, like May is able to go to school, so she knows how to control the panda.
Right.
Right? It's through her friends. And when mom is like, absolutely not, you're not going to Four Town, they were like, we're gonna side hustle the panda. Okay.
Right. Exactly. So once May is able to escape the grandma and aunts, right? she does sneak out and go to Tyler's party, where Tyler has promised
The ultimate hustle.
that as long as she performs as the panda, he will give them $200 and not rat them out for I don't know, scamming.
Yeah,
What are
he
you gonna
was-
do? No
To
one's
the
gonna-
mom.
Oh, to the mom.
Yeah,
That's
he was gonna like go straight to the mom and be like,
He was gonna tattle. He was gonna tattle Tyler. You know, friggin' little Tyler.
Tattletale. He must be an only child.
Obviously, because we get to
Excuse
Tyler's
you.
house.
Ooh, and sorry.
We get to Tyler's
Excuse
house, and
you.
it is thebomb.com. He's got everything going on over
Yeah,
there.
he does.
So May was pretty late to this party, so everybody's kind of just sitting around and waiting for the panda to show up, which is funny.
Which is the Miriam's like, anyone want to play Boggle? I was like, yes. And did they start doing like charades or something at some point?
They tried. None of the other kids were into this. Like, where's the panda? We came here for the panda. So May gets to the party. She's about to panda up, but then she realizes that the Four Town concert is actually on the same night that her ritual to exercise her panda is supposed to be with her whole.
They only
with her whole
realized
family.
because the girl made a mistake.
Yeah, Abby thought it
that's
Made a
was.
right.
mistake because what was it?
It was
She said Toledo.
Toledo instead of Toronto, and that's
Oh
she,
my
she mixed up.
gosh.
She mixed up the dates on the concert
That
poster.
was.
Abby.
She's like, what is Toledo?
Boy.
Ohio. Wasn't it in Ohio?
Yeah, Toledo, Ohio.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the Four Town's going on a world tour. Look at them go.
What is Toledo?
Very funny.
So May eventually does like panda up, kind of in an act of rebellion, right?
Well, that was the other thing is that the aunts and the mom said that one of the reasons she can't panda up isn't so much that other people would see it, but that it's harder and harder to like exercise.
yeah.
Every time you panda,
It gets
the
stronger.
panda gets stronger.
It's like more and more a part of you.
Yeah.
Right. So she's supposed to be keeping it in at this point, even though she has promised to this party that she's going to panda up.
Which is kind of the opposite. Like if you really think about like intuitively, like you should be letting out your emotions.
Sure.
You should be. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I realized like the panda part, but it's interesting. Like,
It's kind of a let it go thing, right? Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know.
so that you can sing your final,
Yeah,
you know.
so you can do your ballad. You go up to your ice castle.
I mean, you generally have to give your ballad.
Right. so May does Panda up, right? She's being rebellious and she's going hard. She's having fun at the party. She's lifting kids up on her back. She's riding around the room.
She going crazy.
She's breaking stuff.
Well, and she came in the cardboard panda first. So
yeah, that's right.
Like,
Hey guys, I'm a panda.
And they were like, oh my God.
What is this?
all the panda merch.
Yeah, they got panda merch out the wazoo. So she pandas up. She has a good time for a little while, and then she talks to her friends on the roof. And Tyler starts getting needy. He's like, "Hey, bring the panda back down there." He's like, "Shut up, Tyler! I don't care about you." And eventually, she gets so agitated as the panda that she like straight up attacks Tyler.
I think she like scratches him.
Yeah,
too.
I think
Yeah, she got
scratches
him.
his face.
She scratched his face for sure.
Messing him up pretty good. Yeah. This panda's
I
dangerous.
won't lie. I thought, like, I was like, oh, yeah. I mean, I don't
Suck
want
it,
her.
Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want her to, like
Hurt
like
people.
kill anybody.
That,
but
that
like,
could be bad for a business.
Right. That's true.
but I thought it was pretty cool that like in that one instance the panda took over her versus like the opposite.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was sad because all the other kids were like, "Oh, you know."
Maybe I shouldn't have taken
Dude,
that picture with that panda.
I was like hella judging the parents when Tyler's parents come out and they're like, "You're a bad kid." I was like, "Where were you guys the whole time?"
I know. It felt like
55 teenagers in your house.
Yeah.
It was like a high school party with nobody there.
Like, how are you not going to notice potentially an 800-pound panda climb on top of your roof?
for real.
Come on.
Well, and
I
like
was like, what were they doing?
you know, those kids were hooping and hollering. Like you
Yeah.
didn't hear them downstairs.
Right.
They're not regular parents, they're cool parents. Okay.
Exactly.
Like okay.
So after the attack, Ming, May's mom, she finds out what May has been doing with the panda, and she's been hustling and doing all this stuff.
Pretty smart,
so,
actually.
So Ming, once again, not trying to do anything to tarnish her perfect daughter. She blames it all on her friends, right? And the friends are there. And
it's so
May
sad.
does not speak up in defense of her friends.
Because she's so afraid of disappointing her mom.
Yes.
Like that fear is stronger.
Exactly.
You know?
So, and the friends take this hard, right? They don't enjoy that they were just lambasted here when it was practically May's idea to do all of
It
this
was
stuff in
May's
the
idea.
first place.
I was very sad. I mean,
That was harsh.
they did a good job on emotion in that one, and it wasn't even like your emotion, like the characters. I don't know. It like they did a good job animation wise
Yeah.
because I was feeling it from them.
You could see it in Miriam's poor little brace face that she was
Aw,
very
Miriam.
upset. I know.
She was.
And the Tamagotchi falls out.
Yeah, that's right.
And who was it? Little Robert? Robert Jr.
Yeah. Robert Jr. That's the name of the Tamagotchi. That's right. I completely forgot about
Robert.
that.
I bet some kids are
He
watching
speaks
this being
French.
like, what the heck is the Tamagotchi? But Luis got an ad on Instagram for it earlier today.
I mean,
so.
Tamagotchi's made a small
A slight comeback?
a couple of years ago or whatever. Maybe kids know about it now. I'm not exactly
I
sure.
don't know.
So after this, it's
You had to have your parents take it to school or to work because you were in school.
Mom, can you take care of my Tamagotchi? My teacher won't.
Mine always died, man.
My mom used to be a nail tech, and she literally had to take it to work with her.
That's so funny.
So
Oh
here's my
God.
question with those things, because I never had one.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I swear.
No, I'm. All right. It's because you weren't a cool kid. Go ahead.
We couldn't afford one.
Yeah, he was poor. Leave him alone. Okay.
I don't think they were that expensive.
Not everybody can have a Tamagotchi.
They're like a
okay.
dollar.
Oh my God! Now you're
Well, at
making
least-
me feel bad. Jeez.
Nah, you know what? At least the role my parents would always play, like, no, sorry, we don't have any money.
Right, yeah.
And I
Yeah.
literally believe that. Like, you care to tell me, Mom, you can't buy me a $30 Tickle Me Elmo?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because that's what I
He's still
wanted longest time.
Okay.
I wanted a $30 Tickle Me Elmo,
I'll buy you
but
a Tickle Me.
now I mean, now as a parent, not wanting to buy my daughter an ugly ass toy, now I know what
You want to know the best part was that they bought one for Adeline.
They did.
Oh, really?
They bought one for him.
They
man.
bought her.
And you want to
And
know
you
the
just felt the cold sting.
he
of that.
did. He literally like in Spanish was like, "Mom and Dad."
That was like
All I
Andre
ever
the other
wanted-
day when he was like, "We're buying Trey a real Buzz Lightyear, okay? A real Buzz." And I was like, "Did you not get a Buzz?" As a
I didn't
kid?
get it. I didn't get a buzz.
And he's still mad about it.
Oh, okay. So,
Buzz.
anyways, back to my question
Yes.
with those Tamagotchi things. So, when it died, it died.
Yeah.
I think you'd have
Toys
to,
bust.
You'd have to like open up the batteries, I think, and like reset
the
it.
toy. You have to open it up and do a hard reset
Yeah.
on the toy in order to get a fresh Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a little bit more complicated
Look at
for like
his
an
face.
11-year-old or
He's so
whatever.
mad.
You know,
If
but
it died, it died.
But if you
man.
gave it to your parents, they'd be able to
It wasn't a Pokemon.
do it up.
You couldn't give it potions.
Right.
No.
But also the battery would die sometimes. You had to go out and buy a freaking watch battery or whatever
Yeah.
to put in one of these suckers.
Oh, you mean a CR2022?
Yeah, one of those.
Honestly, I was more into my Furby than my Tamagotchi, but that Furby
Well,
was freaking come on in the middle of the night and
Similarly, the Furby and that Tickle Me Elmo are so annoying and freak you out because they just wake up at any time and start.
I'm like, what the heck is that?
Same thing. Luis did not want that anymore.
Furby loves you. So
Andre obviously had
That
one.
sounds like Googie.
we cut to the night of the ritual / the Four Town concert, right? The friends have decided to go without May, right? Because they're kind of mad at her, and they had a little conversation about it, but they're all going to go without her because they didn't get the $200 from Tyler anyway. So May has to do her ritual to exercise her panda.
Which is pretty cool, actually.
She's hanging out
I liked that
in her
scene.
room getting ready for it, and her dad comes in.
Aw.
And Dad kind of just lays down the like, hey, you know what? I saw you out there as a panda, and I actually really liked it.
When he had found like a video camera recording
Right.
of her with her and her friends, like loving the
Yes,
panda.
and having fun, and
Just
she's being
being
funny,
kids,
and
yeah.
she's just being a kid. And he probably doesn't see that side of her that much because she's always being perfect daughter around mom and dad, but he likes fun.
And
side.
I love that he tells her, like, your mom was a scary panda.
Right. I saw your mom as a panda once, and it was terrifying. It was
Well, and
not
I
cool.
think that's one of the things that is interesting because as an adult, turning into a panda that's kind of uncontrollable would be more scary, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're more established in your personality than like a 13-year-old.
Sure.
Because
Who's
you're
a bit
more
more
like, this
malleable.
is fun.
Yeah.
Who would like grow to love the panda over time versus an adult would be like, oh my God, this is such a like hardship.
Right.
He
This is crazy.
tells why mom and grandma aren't close too, because
Yes, because mom panned it
Lost
out
control.
when she was young, and
Scratched her.
she lost control, and grandma got a scar from it,
And it's awesome.
and it's a pretty cool scar.
Re-scratcher. She can have one on each side or a double scratch on one side.
Yes, exactly.
I like how the mom daughter thing was also going to the next generation with the mom daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And grandma comes and she's like, oh,
when
Mom.
grandma
I was
called
like,
her,
oh,
or
geez.
when grandma showed up or whatever, Ming, the mom, she freaks out. Like she's having a panic attack. Like she's having some PTSD with mom, right? She's like, oh, mom, you're here. Oh my God.
Yeah, she like
okay.
immediately demurs.
Yes, exactly. She reverts back to
Yeah.
back to her childhood or whatever. So at the ritual, they've got
Mr. Gao, or what is his name?
Mr. Gao.
Oh my God.
he was so funny.
Is that the guy who played Shifu?
Yes, it's the same voice.
Okay.
So he comes to help perform the ritual. He explains that so we're gonna do some chanting. The aunts are gonna stand around in a circle. We're gonna put you in the middle, and then we're gonna excise your panda. They're gonna chant, but basically you can use any song. I like, what does he say? I like George Michael or something like that.
Oh,
What does he like?
did he say Tony Bennett?
Yeah, he said Tony Bennett.
No, but your grandma's
I like
more
Tony Bennett
traditional,
myself.
so
So funny. So they begin the ritual, right? They get something
that
to put.
song was stuck in my head.
They get something to put the panda into when they exercise it. And May goes into like a trance. She goes into like a bamboo forest.
She Black Panthered, okay?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, she did.
Exactly. She goes in there. She sees a mirror of herself. She sees herself with black hair.
Or like Avatar when he's in the
It's in the spirit realm.
realm.
Yes,
That's she's in the spirit realm.
She's
right?
in the spirit
Yeah,
realm
yeah.
for sure.
Which, and the other thing I thought was so cool is that when she had the panda inside her, her hair was like the same red.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which
And
is
she
cool.
looked super cool.
She
I
looked
was
great
like,
with
keep
it.
it, girl.
And her
Cute,
eyes
yeah.
also kind of lit up a little bit reddish brown,
She was just cooler.
And she was cooler. So she's looking at herself through in the mirror and deciding whether she wants to give the panda up or not. And she walks through the mirror at first, but then the panda like calls back to her, and she's like, I don't think so. And
She likes her panda.
She hops back in the panda, and
Well, and she struggles.
Right, exactly.
Like, she is not
She
having
can't
an
walk
easy time.
through the mirror easily,
exactly,
like
exactly.
the others.
Yeah, we see later. I was like, oh,
Oh, they wanted it out.
you were not connected with Joe Panda.
So May decides to keep the panda, abandons the ritual, and she dips out to go to the concert.
Yeah, I
to
think
go
she
find her
says something
friends.
to her mom like, I'm not you, or
Right.
whatever, and then she just freaking. It's really cool. Actually, she's like Spider-Maning across the city.
It's awesome the way
Dude.
she jumps, transforms into the panda, does like a double jump, transforms back into May.
That was awesome.
It's cool how she pounces
She
around.
like floats down from the top to the Four Town concert. I was like, this is legit.
It's cool.
I need a magic carpet. It's just a panda.
That should have been part of it. You want a panda?
Carpet or panda.
She's still running, okay.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So she gets.
It looks fun.
She
Yeah.
gets there.
It did remind me of Spider-Man, though.
Just
For
the,
sure.
the running across the
Or
roofs.
the other one was The Matrix. Like, what's his name? How he, jumps off the thing.
Neo, when he has to jump off the
Yeah.
from building to building.
Well, they kind of run the same. Neo. I literally
They
can't
run the
stand him.
So she gets to the Sky Dome where the concert is happening. She meets up with her friends and they have a little animosity towards each other at first, but they all make their apologies and they
Yeah,
they
freaking
buddy
Abby's
up
like,
again.
she took care of your Tamagotchi.
Yeah, that's right. It's mostly Miriam. Miriam was the one who felt
She's
the
like,
most hurt
yeah, for
by
sure.
May's betrayal or whatever. But she did pick up her Tamagotchi and take care of it for her, which is very sweet.
Every day.
Hers like, she's been taking care of it every day.
You did. So they get there. They make up again.
And Dylan's there.
They start enjoying.
I mean,
enjoying
and
the
Don't
concert.
miss it,
there.
yeah.
And Tyler is there.
They turned around and were like,
You're a four down. He's like, what? No, I don't. And he's got all the merch on. He is busted. You know.
He just needs a friend. He's like there by himself.
Can I hold you guys?
which one is his favorite? He had like a favorite.
Oh, he did have a favorite. Was it?
I don't remember. It wasn't Robert.
It was not Robert. It was like one of the Ambers.
one of the
What was
Aarons.
it? Yeah, it was one of the Aarons.
Aaron Z.
Of course.
It was Aaron Z, I think.
No.
Like how I called him an Amber.
The Aarons aren't anybody's favorite except Tyler's. So they're having a good time. They're enjoying the concert.
It's like loving Brian from
The
the
freaking,
Backstreet Boys
freaking
or
four
Chris
townies are
from
coming
NSYNC.
down on angel wings from the sky.
yes, exactly.
No strings attached.
No strings attached.
So Ming, the mom, is obviously very upset that that May left and didn't do the ritual and all that stuff. And apparently her talisman
Got cracked.
It got cracked. So it busts all the way open and she
and they're still at the temple.
yes, and she fully pandas out. Right, we don't see it quite yet.
it's freaking Godzilla panda.
We
That's what I said. I was
Dude,
like,
it's
I
crazy.
kind of did not like that.
Oh, really?
Like,
really?
why did
How
it have
kaiju it
to
was?
be so monumental? Why couldn't it be the biggest of the family?
Sure, it could have been like a
was
15-foot
too much.
instead of an 8-foot.
You care to tell me when you panned it out to that gigantor, you gave your mom that little itty bitty scar? You should have
Very good point.
sliced her
she
head
had
off
like a whole
clean.
mall.
Should have
See, I
sliced her head off
liked
clean.
it.
Yeah.
I liked it. And it was still like metaphorical. To me.
I did think that it
Big
looked really cool.
mom and the
Unless this was just
The newest
her
manifestation.
overgrowing.
Sure.
because.
no, I don't think so because the dad was like, "I told you she was big."
But nah, she should have sliced grandma's head off clean.
Yeah.
No.
She grazed her. You know, it was close. Grandma dodged back out of the way for a second there. So mom arrives as a giant panda, completely destroys the Sky Dome and the concert.
I thought it was funny.
Everybody tries to evacuate. The mom like knocks over the Four Town sign, and I assume that she has murdered Four Town. I thought all these dudes were
I
dead.
thought they died too.
Oh my
They are
god.
gone.
I definitely was like, well, they're dead now. They were
Oh, no.
angels and now they're dead.
I legit thought that too.
All 5 members of Four Town pronounced dead at the scene of giant panda attack.
five?
Even both Aarons.
All 5, dude.
So she attacks, right? She's messing stuff up.
They're yelling at each other.
Yeah,
too.
May is they're fighting, right?
All the people in the auditorium like run.
They get out of there.
Heck yeah, I
except for
would,
Tyler
I'd be
and May's friends, right?
I really love that Tyler was like, "Ooh,"
Tyler stays.
and then Mr. Gal's trying to like run up the freaking Sky Dome is
Right,
like
so-
to get to the highest
I like
point.
that the dad has like the chalk thing, and he's like trying to make the He's like, "Get her in the circle."
Yeah,
And I love the grandma. She's like trying to
Technically,
call
we're at a
him.
baseball stadium.
Yes.
huh?
Yeah.
That's
Stadium.
awesome.
So yeah, all the aunties show up. They turn into pandas as well. They have to destroy their talismans.
Yeah.
As well to panda up.
Yeah, because May straight up knocks out her mom. like knocks her out, and she falls down and she's asleep, but they have to drag her into the circle.
Right.
So they
in order to
grandma
perform
and all
the
the
ritual.
aunties panda up, and they.
Which was awesome to
was-
like
it was
watch
really
them
cool.
like throw down their talisman and like. No.
This is the Sailor Moon stuff I'm talking about. They're
Yeah.
like magically transforming in formation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, and I like how their panda looked like them.
Yes,
because
they all have their hairstyles.
Yeah.
And they have like specific types of fur patterns
Yeah.
and stuff too. For
Maybe
Well,
it's
because
probably
I
just
feel like-
coming into her panda, maybe.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
May didn't look like herself.
she must be like a baby panda.
Yeah.
You know?
But I love how Grandma still had her scar.
Yes.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
It was legit.
So yeah, they are able to take mom down. They pull her in to the gigantic chalk circle for the ritual.
And Four Town starts singing.
And Four Town, like as soon as Mr. Gal said it can be any song, I like instinctually knew that they were either gonna sing the Four Town song to get the ritual to go, or I actually didn't expect Four Town to rise up from the dead.
Yeah, he was like, I thought they were dead.
That they were goners.
It was so weird. I think they were just hiding behind that thing, but
Yeah,
it
I
was just
guess so.
hella funny how like
Even better, like
They weren't
were
even
not,
tripping.
Yeah, they were not scared. They just came out and were like, "Wow."
Guys,
Yeah.
the show must go on. Put your headphones back
I was
on.
just like, I was like, all right, good for you. Just no.
Is the sound equipment still working?
I mean,
all these speakers are still hooked up, right?
if you ask me, if I'm one of them, I ain't about to sing when there's a 300-foot panda in front of me.
Yeah.
I'd just be
Yeah,
like,
when
what?
when they started singing, all the fans started running back in the stadium.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
I was like, oh.
You bought your ticket. I'm gonna perform.
That's true. These are expensive tickets. So they all start singing the main song. And then I'm by your side.
What's the part about the tummy? I can't.
The tummy.
Yeah.
The lyrics.
Oh, in the
I gotta
song?
listen to it later.
Um,
There's like 2 different songs, I think. They're really good.
You something about my tummy. Like turns his tummy. Never met nobody.
Oh yeah, the song is called "Nobody Like You."
like you.
Let's see if I can find the. Had friends and I've had buddies. It's true, but they don't turn my tummy the way you do.
Yeah.
I cannot.
Yeah, I think they did a great job on writing this song. Oh,
It's a bop.
oh, that's right. I think that this is another fun fact about this film is that all of these songs were written by Billie Eilish and her brother.
Yeah. Jordan Fisher's Robert.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know who that
This
is.
is like a pop singer.
I'm too old, I think.
He's done some like other Disney
Gotcha.
like parade songs.
Gotcha. Yeah, but they sing this banger, and it begins the ritual, and all the aunties get in there too, because they're like, oh, well, we've pandaed enough. Let's get these pandas out of us. So they all go through, and
Oh yeah, because they're all in the circle.
yes, they're all in the circle. And when May goes in, they go back to the bamboo forest that they were in, right? And May sees her mom there, but it's a much younger version of her
teenager,
mom.
yeah.
It's a teenage version, and the mom's crying, and she's not living up to her mom's dreams and whatnot. And May has to kind of like help her through it and walk her back to the mirror. They meet up with the rest of the aunties.
Well, hold on. I thought it was so cool. As they walk, the mom turns
Gets
into the
older.
version of herself.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, which is cool. And they all have the red hair when they're in
Yeah.
there too, which is pretty cool. I really like the red hair
Yeah,
aspect.
me
of
too.
it. So
Everyone should have kept it.
so grandma goes through, the aunties go through.
Super easy. They just
Super
literally
easy.
walk
Because they
through.
don't want their panda.
They just walk through,
Yeah.
and
That's
they don't
That's
want it.
the ticket.
Mom goes through, right? She and you can tell that they've like reforged their connection a little bit.
Yes, but she's
Ming
like,
and May.
May, come with me. And
Yeah,
May's like,
May's like,
no, dude. Like, I like
I
my
don't think
panda.
so.
It's okay.
I really wish she would have said something like, life is going to be so much harder for you. Or something like
Right.
a reason other than I just want you to be perfect.
Yeah.
You know, not
Trying
that
to
she
look out
said
for
that, but like a reason behind
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I gotta rewatch it. Maybe she did say something and I don't remember.
Yes, exactly.
But she keeps her panda.
Yes,
I
she
love
keeps her panda.
that.
Oh, and since the mom's talisman was destroyed, she has to get a new talisman, and
Oh my
it just
God.
happened to be the only thing lying around. It was the Tamagotchi. It's Robert Jr. It's where her panda now resides, which is very funny.
In Robert Jr.
So funny. Well, my favorite is the grandma's. She's so mad about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like she had said earlier that 4 was a really unlucky number, and it was the only thing. Like it was like a broken like leg up
Necklace.
necklace or something.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Because it was
She's
like at
like,
the concert
Yeah.
in Fort Town or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, like think about the Disneyland light up ones that you get for like Fantasmic or something. So funny.
Can you imagine? You'd be like, ugh, my talisman.
You have to wear that all the
I
time.
know, right? You gotta have it in your pocket. Falls out on the ride. So after all of this,
Yeah. Do you have to have it on you at all
I
times?
think so.
I think so.
I assume so, just because they did all
safety
have
reasons.
them. Yeah. If your panda gets away from you and it, cracks somewhere else.
Put in it safe.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Do you have to be near it 8 hours a day? Like
8
what?
hours.
What are the stipulations
Like,
on
oh,
this
finally,
thing?
it's 4 o'clock. I can get rid of this talisman. So after all of this, after everybody's reconciled and gotten their pandas out, May has kept hers. They kind of they promised to rebuild the Sky Dome since they all destroyed it, right? And so
Which was one of my grapes. I'm like, what? No, nobody's gonna freak out
They're trying to
because
like
it's
raise
gone.
enough money. They're like, ooh,
yeah, they have to raise money to fix the Sky Dome.
Luis was laughing because it shows like what do you call those? The temperature things?
Yeah.
Yeah, the thermometer, the
Yeah,
money
yeah.
thermometer, right?
And he's like, oh, because it just keeps going.
Yeah. Like 200 million or
Yeah,
something
something
like
crazy. Because they had a money thermometer for getting the Fort Town tickets, and it was like $500 or whatever they needed. And then this one, they show it go up to like $10,000, and it's like, wow, that's all it costs to fix the Sky Dome, and then it just keeps going up into the sky.
That
or whatever.
was very funny.
But they get to revamp their temple and base it around like the real life panda being there and stuff like that. So they're getting a lot more business and whatnot.
I know this is gonna sound hecka dumb and like minuscule, but like I'm kind of glad they had to pay for it because
Yeah, me too.
usually
That's what I'm saying.
it's less fate. Most of the times when Avengers are over here destroying buildings, nobody's
Right.
Like
billing
Tony
them,
Stark. How about you go take
Which
your
makes
money
it
and
very
fix that?
unrealistic.
Exactly.
So I mean, again,
I like that they were
yes.
held responsible, and it wasn't just some offshoot line or whatever.
I also liked that, like when they're showing the end temple, that Dad was now a part of
Yes,
it.
he's much more involved.
And he's like giving the tour because at the beginning he was like a stay-at-home dad, which
Yeah.
was no problem.
Just hanging out in the kitchen, cooking and whatnot. But
But
he
I
wasn't
just-
saying much. He wasn't doing much.
Yeah, I like that he was a part of it and like excited to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And then even better, like we had said this earlier, but like, was her name Ming, the mama?
Yeah, Ming is mom.
So like Ming was constantly saying something about Miriam and the friends and stuff.
Right.
And then at
Always
the
putting it down.
end, they run in, and was it Dad who invited them to dinner?
Yes, I think so.
And then they're like, "Ooh, yeah, for your dinner, we coming."
Oh, yeah.
And
That'll cook.
where were they going? Just to go hang out, or were they?
Yeah, I think they were just going to hang
I like
out.
that May turns herself like into a furry. Like she's like her human
Right.
form, but she has her tail in her ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just does
She's like going to Anime Con or something.
semi-panda.
And she's like, "You can't go out like that. My panda, my choice." Like, all right.
Okay, all right. Let your freak ears fly or whatever.
I would. That's so sick.
It is cool that she can do that. At any time, just have panda paws or whatever.
It reminds me though of like the Cheshire cat, the cat tails. Like you see them at Disneyland when
My
people
sister
wear them.
has the Monsters Inc. tail, like
Oh
the
yeah,
tail.
the sully tail. Yeah, it's exactly that kind of thing that she's able to do naturally. Doesn't have to spend a single dollar on it. Big fake tails. So that's cool. This is basically the end of the movie. They also Tyler is now a core part of their friend group now.
Thank goodness.
He is an
He
additional
needed a
Fort
friend,
Townie,
dude.
and now they are a 5-person Fort Town
Townies.
fan
for life.
group.
You know, that really is full circle. That's really fantastic.
Hilarious. And now it's not an unlucky number anymore.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So that's it, right? That's the end of the film. Was there a post-credit scene? Did we?
Yeah,
What
there
was
was. It was the dad dancing,
No,
like trying to make a video.
That's
on
right.
the thing.
That's right. Yeah. He's hanging out in the basement and recording himself singing the Fort Town song.
That was very funny.
Good job, Dad. So yeah, that's Turning Red. Let's take a look. See here. So obviously we don't have any box office budget. Oh, actually, so
It did come out like
it was very very limited release in theaters. So I showed that this movie had a budget of $175 million and it had a box office return of $4 million.
Did you say 175?
175.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's why I don't understand. Like, how is Pixar making the money back from the movies if they're just putting them on Disney Plus?
So that's the thing about subscription services is that
Are they hoping that new people come on?
It's more of a long game than something
But then
like
how
releasing
are
a
the
movie in
people for the
theaters.
movie getting paid?
Disney's got quite a bit of money in their coffers, so they can issue out those dollars.
I just feel like people like us are like not the problem, but like we pay our $14 a month or something.
I don't even remember because we paid like 3 years.
We
in
paid our
advance or
like
something
3 years in
crazy.
advance. I have no idea.
Yeah, but yeah, you know, so if we're paying at the highest tier or whatever, and there are, you know, 10 million of us in the United States that are paying at that super high tier, and then there's a whole bunch of much more casual people, you know, another 80 million people doing that, all paying that much money monthly. You know, they're making their money, and the hope that Disney has is that the more new big releases that they have available exclusively on Disney Plus will get people to sign up and keep their subscriptions going.
Yeah.
Which will just keep the money
Which
rolling
makes
in.
sense because there's a lot more Disney Plus original content now. And I realize it even more so when I'm watching when I'm with the kids and they're watching like their kid content. There are a lot of things on there that are Disney Plus specific.
Right. And so
I mean,
like
Bluey is huge right now, and that's on Disney Plus.
yeah. And so like if you think about it in like the big version, right? If they allot like $10 billion a year for their Disney Plus projects, right? And they split that up $175 million at a time, and then they're able to make $25 billion a year off of Disney Plus subscriptions, then, you know, they're doing fine.
They paying their people.
Exactly. Yeah. They've got it in the
I get
bag.
it. What does it have on the tomato meter?
So on the tomato meter, let's see here. And still early days, but this film has a 95% on the tomato meter. Okay, the audience score, interestingly enough, is 73%.
Trolls.
It's
the trolls.
Trolls and angry parents, right?
Yeah.
You know, but the critics' consensus says.
Well, do your research before you let a kid watch a movie.
Critics' consensus
For
says
sure.
heartwarming, humorous, beautifully animated, and culturally expansive. Turning Red extends Pixar's long list of family-friendly triumphs.
Yeah, I agree.
Which, yeah.
This
Can
is
you
up
please
there.
give me some negative reviews because I feel like they're going to be so funny.
They're in there.
Let's
There was
find
one
a
you read
couple
the other day. I was
around
like,
ones.
jeez.
Let's see here.
I am sad we don't do it more often because they're very funny.
My son didn't even enjoy this movie.
So
I'm
these
sorry.
Well.
are from Rotten Tomatoes, right? So this one is from Walter Chaw. It says, the problem with a film like Turning Red is that it's largely indistinguishable from films by white creators exoticizing Asian culture and characters. 2 out of 4. Which,
She was Asian.
yeah,
The-
what do you mean? Like the
Are they
horror movie.
upset that white people weren't given a chance to
No.
whiteify this?
I think
No, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
They feel like it was too whitewashed to be an
And she
accurate
grew up in
representation.
Canada.
right. Like I think this is not acknowledging the fact that the creator based this, very much on,
On her life.
on her own life.
I'm a little bit confused because like her mom seems to be first generation, which would make her second generation.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
But they,
not to be weird or anything, but the child is kind of whitewashed in a sense.
I mean, sure.
Well, you become
can say
more. What's that word? You become more.
that. Westernized or whatever.
No, there's a acclimated. I don't
Sure.
know, but like Luis, you're a really good example. Like your parents are first gener. No, you're first generation, and in comparison, someone would be like, "Oh, like you're pretty whitewashed, even though you still have your roots and like your Hispanic roots." Do you
That's
know
a
what I
white
mean?
person
But,
giving that comment.
I also think that this person is not acknowledging the fact that like they live in a Chinese temple and they upkeep it and they promote tours and tourism and all that stuff, and they look deep back into their ancestral culture to make their money really, and now that the panda is deeply a part of them, like that's the Chinese part of this movie,
All right, find something from a dude being like, I can't relate to this movie.
Let's
It's
see
about
here.
girls.
that guy was Whitey McWhiter.
I'm telling you, that video I watched on YouTube, I was like,
Let's see here. This one is a 4 out of 10 from Mike Massey. It says, despite the action and many of the spot-on depictions of adolescent awkwardness, the film is missing what the studio is best known for, heart and pathos. So I have heard this, that like,
yeah.
that this didn't make people cry, which
All right.
every Pixar movie is supposed to do. Like,
They were
I'm
trying to do
sorry.
cookie
if
cutter.
you don't leave sobbing, then it's a bad movie.
Sometimes I don't like that. Okay, this is fun.
I think that this movie was hilarious, and it did have some emotional moments. Maybe not
Not
super
to cry,
tearjerkers,
but it was like, ooh.
I don't feel like that's
think it was- I don't
necessary
think it was
though.
heartless,
Like I don't think we always need to.
Cry in a movie.
Yeah, we don't always need to be so emotional that I don't know.
It doesn't have to all be Toy Story 3,
Or Up.
Right.
Like we don't need that every time.
Exactly. Let me see. Let me do one more.
I would call this one more like a comedy.
Yes,
like even though
exactly.
like Coco and stuff had comical moments, it wasn't a comedy to me.
Yeah.
This was a comedy.
Okay, this one is a 2.5 out of 4 from Pat Brown. It says, after a first hour that may well hit Zoomers and their millennial parents in the fields, Turning Red gradually runs out of steam. Okay. Yeah, I didn't.
There's no funny ones.
Yeah, I mean these are like the negative critical reviews.
Just go to YouTube and
I'm not watching the video.
YouTube Turning Red reviews, and then there'll be a bunch from Christian men being like, blah, blah, blah. I'm serious.
My
That's what I
Lord.
watched. I was dying laughing.
So yeah, that's that. But
Again, like check out the movie beforehand if you're that concerned.
yeah, exactly.
Like that's your job.
Yeah.
as a parent, is
Like especially if you feel like you need a safeguard, like do your homework.
Dude,
Right.
the other day we were in Batman for the second viewing, and there was definitely like a 6 or 7 year old boy there, probably, right? Because there was a scene, and the theater's quiet, and the little boy's like, "What happened to Batman?"
Batman okay?
And we were like, "Ooh, there's a kid in here. Oh my gosh, this is rated
Yeah.
R."
I mean, no, it's not rated R. That movie is PG-13.
Oh, it is?
And if I was 6 or 7 and a new Batman movie was coming out, I would have begged my parents to take me.
I bet
And
you
by
would.
the grace of God, they may have said yes.
You said you had to sneak in the Matrix.
No, I didn't sneak in. My dad took me.
Oh, but he probably wasn't supposed to.
I mean, I was 10 or whatever. But
Oh, okay.
as long as you're accompanied by an adult, then it's all good.
I get it.
Nothing illegal going on over here, okay?
Oh my god.
All right, so let's go ahead and give our ratings. I'm gonna give
2.5. That's crazy.
Turning Red a 9.
Yeet.
Solid, good Pixar movie, and it's up there and like it's up there. Like it's good.
Yeah, you like it a lot.
I'm gonna watch it again, and I'm happy because I did like Luca a lot, but I think I liked this better. I don't know. It was really good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Luis.
Same, I'll give it a 9. That was good. Yeah.
Andre.
I think I'm gonna give this movie a 9 as well. As I said before, the animation style is off the chain. I love how funny it is the whole way through. It's really good at that, and I think I like it more than any of the Pixar movies we've gotten in the last couple of years, probably since Toy Story 4. I like this like a lot more than Luca, Soul, and Onward.
Soul. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah, that one's
Good
like
God.
bottom of the
We
barrel,
could have been
unfortunately.
like, we could have done without that. I'm
Right.
so
Yeah.
sorry.
It's
I
like
know.
a bummer. I think
Especially, I was excited because it's supposed to like be about black culture
Yeah.
stuff, and it was like, oh,
Well, especially the parts that they actually like worked on, like the barbershop scene and that kind of stuff was really good. But the rest of it was like, what
and it was
the heck?
super heady,
So heavy.
and very very much a downer,
yeah.
right?
This was just so fun.
It's kinda like the antithesis
So
to the-
fun.
to
We
this
needed
movie.
a fun Pixar movie. I'm probably gonna watch it again this weekend because I really liked it.
Yeah. So 9 for me.
Emily.
I'm gonna give it like an 8.5. I really liked it, and I don't have like specific gripes. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just what your gut's telling you.
I didn't love, and I'm not talking about the Four Town stuff. I have a like I didn't feel like the music stuck out to me,
Oh, okay.
like soundtrack wise. So not in a bad way. It's just I like it when the soundtrack pops out.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't like sing something to you right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that if they had brought in like a little more non-original music from 2002, that definitely would have hit a little bit harder for all of us. But at the same time, I'm guessing that they wanted it to feel wholly original.
Yeah.
As opposed to having a recognizable soundtrack and leaning on that.
Yeah,
But-
they don't usually do that. We were talking about Andre and I rewatched Shrek the other day, and we were like, "This is one of the only movies where they put real music into that came out on the radio that I like." Because I usually don't like when they do that.
Yeah.
Like, it really bugs me.
Sent Smash Mouth just to superstardom. These guys are absolute millionaires now.
Yep.
Well, it's
not
funny
True. That's not true at all. I don't think
It's very funny because I heard 2 songs. I was getting a facial yesterday, and 2 of the songs, like they were like coffee shop versions,
Yeah.
were from Shrek, and they are like in my head. They're from Shrek. Like I
Right.
can't disassociate.
Exactly,
So like
exactly.
every time I hear a different version of Hallelujah, I'm like, stop.
This isn't the Shrek.
Like it does not have to be oversung. Like
And
you're overdoing
that's
it.
literally hilarious because I got a massage today and they play like spa music in
Yeah.
the background, and I swear it was the song that she sings when she's like a bird, like the bird. Na, 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 na. And I know it wasn't because it wasn't exactly like
Yeah.
it, but the whole time that's what I was thinking. I was
You're over here
oh, they
like,
got
but seriously,
they got
though.
Spa Shrek in here.
Oh, it says that Bootylicious by Destiny's Child played during the movie when May is finally getting comfortable with herself as a red panda.
I'll have to go listen to it again.
And then also the Cha-Cha Slide by DJ Casper.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That-
yeah,
that-
yeah,
That
yeah,
plays
yeah,
at Tyler's
yeah.
party.
That
So
was
there
funny.
is some recognizable stuff in there. But yeah.
It could have been like a boy band song though.
Right.
Emily wanted NSYNC.
Yeah.
I mean, Backstreet, like everybody would have been fine.
Yeah, that would've been
wasn't insane, girl.
Like it would have been just a second too. It didn't even have to be a big deal.
But maybe that's another story decision in that, like, if the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC exist in this movie, then, like, why would the girls be obsessed with Fort Town instead of them?
That's
You know?
Straight up.
Maybe. I don't know.
Good
that makes
point,
sense to
good
me.
point.
Maybe Justin was like, or you could get Justin to sing one of the characters. That would have been cool.
That'd have been cool. Let me see here. Let's see here. So, right, as we said, Jordan Fisher played Robert. Phineas O'Connell, Topher No.
I didn't know who any of
Josh
the other people
Levi,
were.
and Grayson Villanueva.
I feel like that
played the rest of these
Topher
guys.
name I've heard before.
Topher, maybe he's from like BTS or something like that. I don't know.
What the hell is BTS?
That's the
Korean
Korean boy
K-pop
band,
band.
K-pop band.
I don't listen to them, but I know who they are.
Oh,
There's like a gajillion of them. There's like 19.
Yeah,
of
there's
these
a lot of them.
dudes in this band or whatever.
are you serious?
There's a lot. Every time I see him, it seems like there's more and more. But anyway, that's
We digress.
Yes,
big time.
We digress. This has been our review of Turning Red. We hope you liked it. Hopefully you liked the movie. Let us know what you thought in the comments of our Instagram post. We are at the Walt Vault Pod on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter as well. Leave your thoughts on what you thought of the movie there, so we can know how it's going. Next episode, we are staying on Disney Plus, and we are going to be talking about the brand new Star Wars show, The Book of Boba Fett.
Yes, nice.
Very nice. So yeah, we'll do simplified synopsis of all 6 or 8 of those episodes.
think
I'm
there's
not
6 or
sure exactly how
something.
many there
I
are.
can't remember.
But yeah, make sure you're caught up on that. It'll be spoiler heavy, and you can find that all next week. If you want to keep up with us on the meantime, as I said, we are at the Walt Vault Pod on social media. You can also leave an email at contact@thewaltvaultpod.com. We'll read that message on the show. Make sure you're subscribed on all podcast platforms. We're on Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, all the places where you can get a podcast. You can find us, and you can support us by going to patreon.com/thewaltvault. Get a little bit of extra content going on over there. Oh, I did want to ask you guys, and I guess I'll ask on the podcast so the listeners can give their opinions. The Marvel Netflix shows are now on Disney Plus. Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist, and The Defenders and Punisher as well. All
I would
those-
like to re-watch.
That's what I was saying. So for a crack, should we do like a recap of those? We don't have to watch every single episode. We don't have to go over every single thing because there's like 3 seasons of
I'm
Daredevil
about to pop
alone.
a baby out in 15 weeks. I can't be watching all those.
Right, but we could go over it because I
I won't
assume
remember it.
I will read all the. You know how we do the shows. We'll just do a small recap for all of our memories. We don't have to rewatch the shows.
And even if you say it, I'm gonna be like, I don't remember that.
Okay, well, regardless of that, I was thinking maybe we should do a small recap of some of those shows, some of the more important moments from them or whatnot, to prepare us for the possible reappearance of some of these characters in future Marvel stuff.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, maybe I'll ask it outside of the podcast.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll go over that later. But let us know what you think. Let us know if you want that from us. If you want some reviews, some recaps of the Marvel, Netflix, Disney Plus shows.
Correct.
That's just hard to say now.
I hope you want them,
They got so many titles.
The girl's trying to do it.
Yeah. Okay, so that's been it for this week, you guys. We will see you next time for some Boba Fett goodness. The vault is now closed.